Hey guys, I love Star Wars here. So today we're talking Star Wars Visions. It came out the other day. If you haven't seen it, please don't make me spoil it for you. Go watch it, pause this video, come back when you're done. We're going to be ranking all 9 episodes and talking about each one. And we're going to talk about why some people hated it, some people loved it. So let's get right into it. So obviously, a lot of people didn't like it because they aren't anime fans. And of course, this is Star Wars anime, and if you're not an anime fan, you're probably not going to like it. And a lot of people loved it because they were huge anime fans. I'm kind of somebody in between. I've seen The Last Airbender, I've seen Legend of Korra. I don't really watch a lot of anime, but I've seen good anime. So I can appreciate the Star Wars anime because, of course, I love Star Wars and anime is pretty decent. So when you combine the two, I'm not going to hate it. What I didn't like about this show, and it was something I thought about the whole 9 episodes and it really bummed me out, is that none of it is canon. So I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, some of these stories are really good and some of the characters are really good, but none of it's canon. So really, like, I get that it's fun to watch and it's fun and it's enjoyable, but it's not canon. So that's kind of really pushed me off the edge on not really liking it too much. But the action was great, the anime was great, and it was all great. So we're gonna go through all 9 episodes, ranking them 9 to 1 on what I thought was the worst to the best. And when I say worst, it didn't mean, oh, that was terrible and I'd never watch it again. It's just the worst of the 9 episodes. So let's start out with number 9. I gotta go with episode 2, the Tatooine Rhapsody one. It just, it wasn't really Star Wars to me. A band, and then, like, the lead singer's a fallen Jedi, and then the lead bass guitarist is a Hutt, and Jabba the Hutt wants to kill him. It just didn't really go for me. It didn't really feel like Star Wars to me. It just felt like a band, and then one of the bandmates was for some reason wanting to be killed by Jabba the Hutt. That's why it's number 9. So number 8 on my list is going to be episode 6, the TOB1. It was good. The action was good. The storyline of a scientist going to a planet where there's no life, creating a bunch of droids to create life on this planet is a cool story. But then to create a robot as a Jedi, I don't like it. No droids should be Jedi. That's just not how Star Wars works. A Jedi should have the Force. A Jedi should be one with the Force. It should be a living thing. If it was part droid, part human, or part alien, whatever, then I'd get it. But being completely droid shouldn't have Force abilities and shouldn't be a Jedi at all. So number 7, we had episode 9. So episode 9 really reminded me of episode 9 of Rise of Skywalker, but it was just a little bit different. Obviously, he goes back to his village and tries to find the girl that he loves. He ends up killing her himself because he's taken over by the dark side, and then he heals her with the dark side abilities, and then goes off and it ends with him turning to the dark side. So he saves the girl that he loves, and he doesn't stay with her. He doesn't choose the light side to stay with her. He chooses the dark side and goes off with this dark side user. It just doesn't really, I don't get that. I feel like if he saved the person that he loves, then he would, I get that Anakin did this. Anakin tried to save Padme and ended up turning to the dark side. But in this case, he does save her, and then he still goes off and leaves her. That's why I put that episode in number 7. Number 6, we're going with episode 8, Lope and Ocho. So I liked this one, but the main character being a bunny type character, we haven't really seen a bunny type character in Star Wars. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but kind of gave me like Pokemon vibes. I don't know. It's like a bunny being a character kind of just felt like a Pokemon to me, and the whole time I was thinking like this bunny shouldn't be a character in Star Wars, but that's just me. Tell me what you think in the comments right there. That's just me. Your guys' list could be completely different from mine, and that's okay. That's why being a Star Wars fan is so great. I could have a completely different opinion than you, and you could have a completely different opinion of me, and we could talk about it all day. It's just those fans that want to argue about everything, but this is just my list, and it's my personal opinion on what I thought was the best episode and what I thought was the worst episode. So if you don't agree with it, talk to me about it in the comments. I'm all for it, but you don't have to just scream and yell and be like, I love that episode. Why do you hate that episode? You're an idiot. No, that's not how it works. I have my opinions, you have yours. Let's talk about it. So that's why I'm going with that one for number 6. Number 5, I'm going to go with episode 3, The Twins. A lot of people loved this one, and I could see that because this was a very anime episode. So, obviously they were all anime, but this one really made me think, wow, this is anime. From the very limited anime I've seen, I was like, this is really anime. The twins was a great story. I mean, the Sith create two twins out of nothing, and they're grown up to be these bad guys, and then they have the special armor to control this special weapon. It's a great story, but when they went outside into space and started fighting, kind of seemed far-fetched when they were humans and they were in space and they were surviving. And I get we've seen Leia do that, and I get that, and I didn't really like that in The Last Jedi, but whatever. But for them to survive this whole battle, and then at the very end when he goes into hyperspace and cuts her armor off, and then he's on the outside of the ship in hyperspace, it's just, I didn't really like that at all. But I did like the action sequences. I did like the whole story behind the twins, and it was really good. That ending fight scene is why it is number 5 on my list. Number 4, I'm going with episode 4, The Village Bride. I liked the scenery in this one. Obviously, the beginning was cool. It was very short and very limited story, and I wish all of these were literally like hour-long episodes, hour-long stories, like movies all within themselves, especially these last 3 or 4. They are great stories, but they just need to be longer. They're way too short for me to actually enjoy the whole thing, and that's what I especially felt with episode 4, The Village Bride. It was just way too short, way too fast, and it just wasn't enough for me to enjoy it or put it in my top 3. With that being said, here are my top 3. Number 3, we're going with episode 1, The Duel. When I started watching this show, I started with episode 1, and it was The Duel, and I was like, this is gonna be so good. And then, of course, number 9 on my list is Tatooine Rhapsody, and it's episode 2, so I was like, maybe this might not be too good. But episode 1, The Duel, got me so hyped for Star Wars Visions right off the bat. It was mostly in black and white. The only things that were color were really red and blue, but that was kind of cool. And of course, you had the Umbrella Sith lightsaber thing, which was pretty sick. Grievous would be jealous. This just in, General Grievous has entered the chat. Hey, Grievous, give me a like right there. And subscribe. Yeah. The fight scenes were great. The fight scenes in this episode were so good. When he forces the lightsaber and holds it in his hands, that is some cool stuff that we've never seen before in Star Wars, and it is awesome. And that's what I liked about Star Wars Visions. It brought us a lot of things that we haven't seen in Star Wars before. And although I've been crapping on most of them, and I've been saying that this shouldn't happen in Star Wars, some of them are really cool and great ideas that could be incorporated into Star Wars come the future. I know none of this is canon, and I've said that's why I don't really like this show. But some of these ideas can be used in canon, and that's what we love about it. For number 2, I'm going with episode 7, The Elder. I know this isn't very high on many people's lists, but The Elder was really one of my favorite. It reminded me a lot of The Phantom Menace, where you had a Qui-Gon and an Obi-Wan type Jedi and apprentice, and then they met a Sith Lord. And this is set in a time where there are no Sith, and there haven't been Sith for years and years and years. So that's why that one's at number 2. And finally, if you guys have been counting off, my number 1 is going to be episode 5, The Ninth Jedi. So I loved this one for one reason and one reason only. It could actually happen. We're talking, this is way after episode 9, way after all the Jedi are gone, and there's no Jedi Force users in the galaxy that we know of, at least, that are in power or anything. And it's such a great story because we don't know what would happen after 9. We don't know what would happen after Rey dies and Finn dies, and we don't know what's going to happen with the Jedi and Sith moving forward. Obviously, we know the dark side Force and light side Force will never go away, and that's why it's so interesting to see where it would go. I loved the fact that they were mining on this planet, mining for kyber crystals, creating lightsabers, and that there were still Force users and Dark Force users across the galaxy, and they obviously are still always fighting. All in all, this was definitely the best episode, I think, by far. I mean, all of it, from Acolytes to Jedi after episode 9, it was just so cool. And, of course, we have the TV show that's supposed to take place before the whole Skywalker saga, but it's called The Acolyte, and of course it's going to be a Sith user, and it's going to be a whole series on Disney Plus based off of it. And it's cool that we see Sith Acolytes still being relevant after episode 9, although it's not canon. So that's my ranking on all 9 episodes of Star Wars Visions. Tell me your rankings in the comments right there, and if you don't mind, you could give me a like and a subscribe. That would be awesome. I would love it. But I'm going to keep videos coming all the time, trying to keep it consistent, maybe 1-2 a week, and hopefully get to the point where I can go 1 video a day, and it would be perfect because I love talking Star Wars, and I love talking Star Wars with you guys and reading your comments and replying to your comments. It's a lot of fun, and Star Wars Visions was really good. Alright, that's enough talking for me. I'll let you guys go. May the Force be with you, always.